I feel like it's just so weird. You got such like intense chemistry and you got such an intense couple and they just like lightly peck each other. You feel like they would be eating each other's faces. Like that's the vibe of the drama, but they don't do that. So then it kind of throws me off a little bit. Clearly you can't have any romance going when they both don't know that they're not related. This is more historical romance than like good guy, bad guy defeating the world evil, you know? Hello. I am back with another C-drama video. If I'm being honest, I really wasn't sure about filming this video, but my what's going on in C-drama world video kind of popped off. Like, I'm actually kind of happy because I really like that video. And so I just want to kind of make this video as a follow-up. Also, I just started a Discord, so please join the Discord because I don't have K-drama, C-drama friends to talk about those things with. But anyways, yeah, so today I'm going to be ranking every single C-drama I watched. And honestly, looking over, it was kind of sad that I only watched 13 completed, or will complete 13, because technically I've only finished 12 at this point. And Blossom, which I failed to mention in my previous C-drama videos. I see you guys, I hear you guys. I know it was a failure on my part, but I filmed that video a long time ago. So, but yes, I will be mentioning Blossom in this video. It is in my ranking. I'm definitely going to finish it. I'm watching it on air, so there's like no way I won't finish it. And there's only 12-ish episodes left at the time I'm filming this. It might even be done by the time this is up. So one thing is, I mentioned I only watched 13 dramas this year, and it sounds so little. I feel like I'm a pretty big C-drama fan. I mean, from the previous video, I went through all those dramas, like I heard about them and decided whether or not to watch it. Yeah, I don't know why I watched so few. It feels like I watched it a lot more. One thing is Chinese dramas are a lot longer than K-dramas, so it kind of is harder to watch as many considering just the sheer number of episodes. I think, yeah, I'm a big C-drama fan, okay? I think the number is a little low, but I'm a big fan, okay? The drama I have in 13th place is going to be Follow Your Heart. So basically this is, if you've seen The Beauty Inside, it's K-drama, love that. Actually, it's one of my top dramas ever. But basically it's about this girl who has this weird condition where she changes faces once a month kind of situation, like a period, except she changes faces and she just can't live a normal life because of that. But basically, yeah, she's struggling with that, and then she meets a security dude, politician, man, I don't know. There's always some military power guy. And yeah, he can't recognize faces. So you got a girl that changes faces and a guy that can't recognize faces. And she finds out that he kind of can't recognize her. And eventually one thing leads to another, and then they fall in love. Basically, this is in last place at like a 7 out of 10. I kind of forgot my rankings. Yeah, so I rated this a 6.5 out of 10. Low-key, it's so bad to the point that I'm surprised I finished this. I definitely think this was airing during a time there weren't that many dramas out, both Korean and Chinese. Like this year in general, I feel like I just didn't watch that many dramas because there's just not much that was coming out. It's rated so low because it just didn't fit. Like, one thing is, it was basically The Beauty Inside, and I've seen The Beauty Inside, so none of the plot points were refreshing, and I think they did so many things like exactly the way things happened in the modern version. Like, it's one thing to just take the whole trope of changing faces, but it's the fact that the entire storyline carries out very, very similar, thrown in with like a generic historical plot. There was nothing good about this drama. Like, the chemistry was like okay, the acting was like whatever. I was not attached to their characters, I wasn't attached to the plot line. Sometimes there's silly dramas that you can like, but this is one that I just couldn't get past. So next up I have Lost You Forever season 2. For this one I rated it a 7 out of 10. I actually watched season 1 this year, even though I think it came out last year, so I didn't have as large a gap in time between season 1 and season 2. I remember watching season 1 being decently invested. The community was probably in an uproar because everyone was on a different ship. But yeah, it's basically the story is a reverse harem. You've got this girl who has these powerful parents, ends up getting lost and living like a commoner, grows up like a commoner, and then because of the resentment she has, she kind of just doesn't return back to her rightful place as like princess or whatever. There's also some birth secrets going on. She has 3 love interests. So I guess to go over the love interest real quick, you got a bad boy that was there for her at her lowest points. He is so mean to her. He bullies her all the time, but he secretly does things for her. So next you have her brother. Yeah, basically he's kind of her cousin, but he's just in love with her. We just exist through this no matter what. But yeah, he's been in love with her ever since a young age. His mom died and her mom took care of him. There was like this vow that they were going to protect each other. And so they grew up as siblings, really, really close. And yeah, he's just kind of always loved her. And then our last one is while she's living like a commoner, some dude gets injured because he's getting bullied by his family or whatever. And she takes him in. She doesn't really know his identity, but they're like really happy and have this little happy domestic life for a while until he tells her who he is. The most interesting thing about this was the reverse harem with all the men and like the community going wild. For me, I was actually always on the ship of who she ends up with. But my main issue with this drama is the part 2 part. If this was all one series, it would be fine. But I didn't like it that much. Like the story-wise, it wasn't that interesting, and reverse harem isn't that interesting either. I talked about in my previous Chinese video thing, like I need one main male lead. I don't need like 3. Even I like watched season 1 not that long ago, but the time passed. Season 2, actually nothing happens in it. So basically what happened is China has this new rule that dramas can't go over a certain number of episodes. I don't remember why, but basically, so because of that, this got split into 2 when it wasn't supposed to be. And so when we're watching season 2, I'm kind of just like, where did we leave off and like what's going on? I kind of forgot like everything. It's also just, it was very anticlimactic, maybe because I was already spoiled what was going to happen anyways. Yeah, nothing really happens in this season. I think the buildup was really great, but the like ending was kind of just like, eh. And the fact that I feel like there's like some anticipation for season 2 to air, right? Nothing. Didn't get any of that. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna watch it just to watch it. Okay, so next up in 11th place is Everyone Loves Me. And this drama is about this gamer friends. So the female lead plays games, the male lead plays games, and they are online friends. They play games together frequently. And basically he ends up having a crush on her for whatever reason. But the thing is, the gamer girl has a real life crush, and her real life crush is actually him in real life because they are college peers, and she fell in love with him at first sight. And so she basically confesses to him. He rejects her because he likes the gamer girl. And yeah, so she gets really upset and she's basically just cursing him out. They're playing games again together. Obviously don't know each other in real life, right? So they're playing games and she's telling him about her confession, her failed confession, how she hates the guy for being such a jerk to her confession. And it turns out he finds out that the gamer girl is the girl that confessed to him. So she now hates him and he now likes her. My main thing about this is the plot itself is like whatever. I do like a whole like bad boy redemption arc, but that's also not quite what it was. And I think for me, if the foundation of a plot doesn't make sense, then I just can't do it. So the entire fact that he is in love with his gamer best friend person is just crazy. And it just seems he's so desperate in a way to like win her back. And it's like, you're putting all this effort for this girl that you like only know from online. And I just couldn't believe the like sincerity of his love and like how deeply he actually loved her or whatever. So that was just like my main flaw with this drama. She was cute and whatever, but she felt a little like two-dimensional, pretty flat as a character. So definitely a very light watch. It feels a very like a fluffy drama where there's no substance and it should just make you happy, but it didn't really make me happy because I was too busy being annoyed with him and confused why he was so in love with her. But other than that, it really should be a light watch that you shouldn't think much and just like enjoy. It really isn't that deep and I wish it had some depth. I think that's the only way it could be any better. And if they just had a little more fluff, there was a little too much like chasing and whatever other nonsense is going on. So yeah, felt a little flat. So next up in 10th place is Amidst, a Snowstorm of Love, and I rated this a 7.5 out of 10. So basically this entire plot line is there are two Chinese people living abroad to play billiards. So there is a snowstorm in whatever country that this drama takes place in because it's not in China for the most part. But yeah, so they're in this foreign country and there is a snowstorm and she and her Chinese brother, I think she's with her brother or her cousin or something like that. They end up at this cafe and they're kind of helpless because they're new to this country and he kind of just sees her at first sight and like falls in love with her, and he ends up helping them out through the snowstorm because there's this whole Chinese nationality, like helping out your fellow Chinese citizen in this foreign country. So yeah, they get to know each other and he finds out that she is a billiards player, and he is also very, very good because he used to be a billiards player, but due to some stuff, he ended up quitting. Long story short, they fall in love, basically. Yeah, that's the plot line. And so for my thoughts on this, I think their chemistry is quite unreal. This is the first time that I've probably ever seen a drama, and I was like, I feel like I'm watching like a real life couple, to the point where when they were being intimate, I was like intimate, not in just sex scenes, but like intimate in like romantic ways. I was just like, I feel like I'm intruding on something. Like, I feel like I'm watching something I'm not supposed to watch. I usually eat up love scenes, not love scenes, like romantic scenes, but this one, I think I found myself kind of avoiding the screen, maybe even skipping forward through their like lovey-dovey moments. And one thing could be because of how their chemistry was like super, super like crazy, felt like a real couple. But another thing could be because I don't like their characters, so that's maybe why I wasn't supportive of the relationship as much. Like, he's super hot, but one part of me feels like he was a little bit domineering. I feel like he treated her like a baby, and it wasn't in a good way, you know? Like, I feel like I do usually appreciate a relationship between two equals, and it felt like he was constantly babying her. In one way, it's great because he's like a very reliable male lead, like character, man, I guess. And also, I think it just wasn't believable to me by how, like, he basically loves her a lot. Like, I guess there's a lot of like building of how deep his love is for her, but I think my main thing is like, why? Like, you literally only think she's pretty, basically, because he fell in love with her at first sight, and I'm just not that big on fall in love at first sight. That's kind of just like my main beef with this drama. I mean, if you're in it for the chemistry, you're in it for the chemistry. This absolutely fire chemistry, despite how cold it is in this drama, because it's a snowstorm of love, you know? I thought it was decent. I also couldn't take the whole billiards thing seriously because I don't know anything about the sport, and yeah. And then in 9th place, I have the drama As Beautiful as You. So this follows a girl who is getting harassed at work. Basically, she ends up quitting and then decides to pursue a startup. And yeah, so the drama is all about startup pursual. And basically, he is her high school college. He's like a college sambe, so like someone who's older than her, and they ended up working on a group project together, and that was when he fell in love with her. She doesn't really have much thoughts about him, but he leaves before getting to confess, and he ends up becoming a very successful investor. And basically that's where they reunite because some work stuff. He basically ends up investing in her company, and they eventually end up falling in love. She does have a boyfriend that she ends up breaking up with, but I guess that's besides the point. I don't really want to talk too much about this drama because I have a separate video dedicated to it. Long story short, the main pro of this drama is their chemistry. It's a very mature relationship featuring like adults in the workforce. I love seeing that. Nothing too dramatic, but I do like the general vibe of the entire story. This con is going to hit the climax of the drama of like she's pursuing her startup dreams. To me, she just seems too head in the clouds, I guess. She seems too optimistic, maybe. I don't know what it is, but I'm not against him because I think we're supposed to hate him as a character, thinking that he's just like cold-hearted and yeah, just not a great partner because he's so calculative and business oriented. But for me, that made sense. Maybe I just don't have a love bone in my body or something, or understand what it's like to be like betrayed. I mean, I'm a very feely person, but even then I didn't get why she was so feely about him making like objective decisions versus considering her feelings, because that was like the main like fault. And so I think building up to that point, I just couldn't understand it. And yeah, at that point she was kind of being silly in my opinion. She does some really crazy stuff at some point too. Yeah, so that was kind of my main issue with the drama. If you want to hear it more in detail, I would watch my actual video. So next, in 8th place, I have the Rise of Ning. I rated this an 8 out of 10. So basically this story follows this girl who was sent away into seclusion because the mistress blamed her for her miscarriage or whatever. And then basically one day she returns back. I mean, she returns back sometimes, but this time the grandma's health is failing, so she decides to actually stay. And yeah, basically it's about her just kind of surviving in the household, and she and one of her other shunned siblings, her brother, basically, he's also shunned by the father. And yeah, they basically just help each other survive in this household because she's shunned by her dad and he's also shunned by the dad. So then they just keep helping each other. And yeah, and eventually they develop into a romantic relationship, because this is a spoiler, but not really. They're not biologically related. And he finds this out early on, so he's like in love with her and then helping protect her as he's carrying out his revenge. And yeah, so basically my thoughts on this story are, it's pretty good. They're both very sweet, kind people. I really like their dynamic. They're very gentle souls. And yeah, I think I really appreciate, I feel like they're the kind of people that just like care for each other without all the like fanfare, I guess. Yeah, they're just always silently looking out for each other, and then they don't really expect anything in return, which is why I think their relationship is super sweet. My main flaw about it is because they do have this whole biological sibling plotline going on, she does not find out that they're not related for a very, very long time. And yeah, basically you can't have any romance going when they both don't know that they're not related. But basically, yeah, I think their relationship is really sweet, but as a romance girl, there's not enough romance for me. So that's just like my main flaw with this. But other than that, it's a pretty solid, good drama. You have a lot of good characters. There's not a lot of like the bad guys beating up on them, because it can get really frustrating when the bad guys are always winning. But in this one, the good guys are mainly winning, so it's pretty relieving to watch. Yeah, just a little bit romance would have been nice, but the general plotline was pretty good. Characters are great. Yeah. So next up in 7th is the drama that everyone was waiting to hear about from me, or just in general because it's so great, and that's going to be Blossom. And right now I have this ranked at an 8.5. I saw it was an 8.8 on my drama list, and I am quite shocked. That is really, really high for this drama, and I like it, but I actually don't love it that much, but I'll get into it real quick. But basically this story follows the female lead who gets cheated on by her husband, and her husband cheats on her with her sister. And yeah, so basically she gets really sad, wants to divorce him, runs away, and it's kind of like in a wartime. So then she ends up running into the soldier man who is going to be our main male lead. And basically stuff happens. They end up getting killed by the bad guys, and he kind of like protects her and stuff like that. So yeah, they both die. And then she is reincarnated, goes back in time. I don't really know. She goes back in time to when she was young, and with the knowledge of everything she knows in the future, she tries to change things. He has this whole revenge plotline with his mom. And so my thoughts is this drama came out of nowhere, which is why it's not mentioned in what's going in C-Drama World. Okay, I know people were expecting it. I'm sorry, I let you guys down. This came out of nowhere, really. Like, all of a sudden people were just like, this is like the second double, because the double also came out of nowhere and did really, really well. So that's what Blossom is. Between the two, I'm more surprised about this drama because this is nothing like revolutionary. It's just done well. You know, it's like pretty basic plot line, pretty basic trope. I mean, come on now, reincarnation, going back to your past life. Like, yeah, I've seen a lot of this trope. I guess for me, the main appeal is that you've got this bad boy soldier guy who's just such a simp for his lady, and I feel like we've got a lot of strong female leads in C-Drama World. So yeah, she's just like kind of like that. At first, I was not gonna lie, I was a little bit in disbelief by the chemistry. I feel like for me, he gives off second lead pining for the girl still instead of actually getting the girl. By now, I'm okay with it. I still think, though, that the chemistry isn't insane, but overall, the plotline of the story is pretty good. I think their cute moments are really cute. So yeah, it's really enjoyable, but I think it's kind of low on my list, if I'm being honest, at 7th out of 13. It's like halfway. It's a good drama, like solid, but I'm just really surprised why everyone's so in love with it. Like, it's good, but it's like, it isn't that good. Like an 8.8 on my drama list is actually really, really high. Like, stuff that's up there is like the story of Minglan, and which I love. That is the most classic version of all the historical Chinese drama tropes in one go. Absolutely great. Story of Minglan was insane. So yeah, that and Love Like the Galaxy, which are also written by the same writer, I think. So that's why I love them so much. But yeah, I'm very shocked that people are liking this as much as they do. Don't get me wrong, okay? I really do enjoy the drama. It's like the best Chinese drama airing right now. But yeah, I am a little shocked by it. Maybe I'm not as attached right now because it's still in the early stages. I mean, early stages, we're actually near the end. We're like 25. But I really don't think in this 12 episodes anything like super crazy is gonna happen. And there was no point where I was like super thoroughly invested in this drama. I do appreciate that it is airing every single day right now because there's like nothing for me to watch. So I like having something to look forward to after I finish work. And this is it. So I love her for what she is. But yeah, there's nothing that crazy. But it's good. It's good, definitely, okay? Don't get me wrong. Okay, so in 6th place, we have the drama that I mentioned came out of nowhere, and that is going to be The Double. And I also rated this in 8.5. So basically, this actually has a really similar-ish plotline, but in this one, she actually gets killed by her husband instead of because of her husband. But yeah, so this girl gets killed by her husband. There's this whole conspiracy plot going on, and then she isn't reincarnated per se. I actually don't even know how she survives. Yeah, she just kind of survives, and she ends up getting the help of this very kind girl who is trapped because some mistress. But that girl ends up dying, and so our main female lead ends up taking her like position, identity, basically, and lives as her, and she just completely changes things. So she returns for good to this other girl's life. And so basically she's got like 2 revenge plot lines. One revenge plot line is against her husband, and the other revenge plot line is for the girl who lost her life that she's living in the identity of. She wants to like do that girl justice for saving her life. Then we have our male lead, who's also some commander dude, of course, like always. And so he knows who she is, and he's just kind of interested in seeing what she's going to do, and he has his own mission, she has her own mission. They kind of align, and he kind of uses her, but she also kind of allows herself to get used because the only thing she wants is revenge. So yeah, she just basically tries to get revenge on her evil husband. Turns out that there is a lot more going on underneath the surface, and that's just what this entire story is about. So for my thoughts, this was a very great drama. It's very intense. Okay, no offense to Blossom, but I can definitely see why this one, why it would be like beloved. Number one, the tension between the main leads is insane. I think their dialogue, the wit, the banter, it's all there. It's a very intense drama because it's intense and angsty, and I think it has all those emotions evoked. Blossom is a little bit more lighthearted. There's nothing too deep about it, which also is why I'm so confused that it's performing as well as it is. Not that it's a bad drama, it's just not insane. I don't mean to hate on it at all. Anyways, yeah, The Double, it's insane. Like, you can tell that this is a very great story, very well done. Oh, also on another level is I love the characters and the complexity of each one because they're not quite good nor evil, and I think that's the real merit of this drama. Yeah, and basically the only flaw I have, there's only one, is again with the romance, because I am a romance girl. What can I tell you? I think for me, it's just the fact that they have such insane chemistry, and for something with such intense chemistry, you expect some more intense romance scenes. Everything is really, really subtle. So I think part of it is kind of weird to have that big of an age gap filming some pretty intense romance scenes. At the same time, I feel like they need that. I feel like it's just so weird. You got such like intense chemistry and you got such an intense couple, and they just like lightly peck each other. You feel like they would be eating each other's faces. Like, that's the vibe of the drama, but they don't do that. So then it kind of throws me off a little bit. And I guess I'm not gonna lie, the romance also throws you off a little bit because they're such like angry, vengeful characters that when they start dating, it's also kind of just like, I don't expect like cutesy moments from them. I expect like a deeper romance than them acting cute to each other. So I think that's just like my flaw of the drama. But yeah, so it's an 8.5, which means like quality drama. Like, I feel like above an 8 is like quality drama, and like 9 is like, oh, this is good. And it just falls a little short because it didn't get that emotional appeal in me and like the romance. Like, that could have bumped it up at least 1.5 points. And now we are on to 5th place, and I have the Legend of Shenli, and I rated this also an 8.5. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot with the same rankings, but then I just kind of ranked them according to where I emotionally felt and adored, you know, I emotionally really liked. Because all the 8.5s have been pretty solid dramas. It's just a matter of like the emotional appeal for me. And that's a very subjective thing versus like the objective good or bad, you know? So anyways, this plot follows this girl boss lady who, she's like this powerful person. I don't know the details sometimes with these characters, but anyways, yeah, she's this powerful boss lady. She's forced into a marriage for like the peace of like the community or whatever, and she just doesn't want to do that because she's like, it's my marriage, it's my life, you know, whatever. So basically she runs away, she gets injured and turns into a chicken. Yeah. And then she's nursed back to health due to some random dude that buys her as a chicken. They end up falling in love, but they both have like their real identities and have to return to that. I don't know if I was able to capture the entire plot line with my very short summary, but this drama is very, very plot heavy. There's a lot going on, and if I'm being honest, I kind of forgot what the entire story was about. Like, I had a general gist of what was going on, but then I decided for this video that I needed to come up with things to say. So I skimmed through some episodes and I was like, wait, this drama is actually really, really good. So maybe it's like the recency bias or something. But yeah, I suddenly think this drama was really, really great. This is gonna be weird, but I like that they aren't together for most of the drama. Like, they definitely have their like sweet moments, but the entire drama is not like a fluff drama. It's like they have their romance moments, they get separated, and that's why you have so much angst, because they were once together and then they know what it's like to be together, and then the entire drama is them wanting to be together, which is pretty romantic in my opinion. I think one thing that made this higher than the other 8.5s is I thought this drama was really funny. Like, I clicked on a couple of episodes and I found myself like laughing out loud. I actually think I might try to rewatch this entire drama based off the few things I was clicking through. But yeah, I think that's definitely the charm of this drama, is the fact that it has good chemistry between the male and female lead. I would not say it's like heavy sexual tension, but I just think they're character-wise, I really like their dynamics. I like who they are as characters. I think the entire foundation for the story I think was great, and then the actual plot line was really great. The execution, great. Quality of the work, great. There was no like actual real flaws. Probably the only thing that falls short is, I've said this before, but like, I'm a romance girly. Like, I feel like we should have had them interacting. Like, they do interact a lot more, but them interacting was not the main plot. The main plot was them saving the world or whatever. But yeah, it's just in the midst of them saving the world, their dynamic together is like pretty spot on, which is why I rated this drama pretty high. Definitely enjoyable. I will definitely rewatch this again soon, I think, because yeah. Okay, so next I have number 4, and that is going to be Are You the One? And this is the last one I have rated at an 8.5 out of 10. So basically this plotline is, this girl is like the sidekick or whatever. She's just related to the evil villain dude or whatever that the main lead is trying to hunt down. She basically loses her memory, kind of gets abandoned by her former lover who was the bad guy or whatever. Yeah, so she loses her memory, and then he basically is after her former lover, so he like kind of keeps track of her, and so yeah, she loses her memory, and then he ends up lying that it ends up happening that she thinks he's her husband. I mean, it kind of makes sense, because like, what else are you doing with this man? And so he just kind of goes along with it to keep her captive, while the other guy, he tries to capture the other guy, and then maybe if she just like regains her memory one day, I don't know, liability reasons. Anyways, yeah, so he ends up pretending to be her husband, and yeah, so the story is him falling in love with her as he pretends to be her husband, and then, you know, the truth has to come to light eventually. And I think one reason this drama is so high up is because I skimmed through the novel. I read actually a lot of that novel though, and basically the original novel is really, really good. So good that I think I have some biases influencing me on why I rated this above Legend of Shenli, even though objectively I feel like Legend of Shenli might be a better quality work. But basically, yeah, this is really up my alley. This is more historical romance than like good guy, bad guy defeating the world evil, you know, which is very common in Chinese dramas. So yeah, we really just focus on their relationship, and honestly their dynamic is so cute, so funny. They look so good together, and Zhang he is killing it in this drama. Absolutely fell in love with him as a male lead. It's an 8.5, and really this should have been a 10. I think the original IP, so great. Like, I literally could make an entire video on that later, because I do really appreciate this drama and its original IP. At least its original IP. But I'm not gonna lie that the essence of like is there. It's this whole trope of this girl with amnesia, and it's like this guy that's doing her dirty, and then he kind of is just like feeling guilt for doing her dirty. And yeah, I mean, once she regains her memory, because yeah, that has to happen, she's a very powerful girl boss, you know, but at the same time she doesn't let him win, and I kind of like that. So she's an intelligent girl, and he's just kind of like, I don't know how to put it, like not her servant per se, but he always like loses to her, and I feel like that's just kind of, it's a cute relationship dynamic to have. The setup is so good. The setup is genuinely so good. But yeah, the con is that it wasn't executed as well as the novel. I don't know if my my feelings toward this drama is impacted because I did read the novel and I thought the novel was better. If I had maybe watched this fresh, maybe I would have been fine with it, but the original content of the novel is so good. I would love to have seen it, but it did not happen, unfortunately. But aside from that, yeah, dynamic relationship, chemistry, all there on point, all about the romance. That's why it's a solid 8.5. Definitely rewatchable scenes, so that's also a plus. So in third place, we have Blossoms in Adversity. And we finally escaped the 8.5s because now I rated this one a 9. And so this one follows this like wealthy family, the Hua family, and basically some stuff happens and all the men of the family end up getting exiled and it leaves all the women defenseless. And basically it's very traditional of that time for women to just kind of give up because women aren't supposed to do anything except raise a household or whatever. But yeah, so our female lead, I think her name is Huazi, she kind of takes charge and she's just like, no, we're gonna get back up on our feet because yeah, everyone's just kind of like, bro, what do? We have no men. We're screwed. And she's like, no, we got this. And so basically she just takes charge of the family, leads them back to happiness. And she's just like, yeah, we are going to buy our men back. We're going to survive now so that we can have a happy future. And this is going to be a very interesting review of mine because the romance is the weakest part of the story, but I still, as I complain so much about the romance. You can literally flash back me talking about how I'm a romance girly. But as a romance girl, there's not enough romance for me. So that's just like my main flaw with this. Because I am a romance girl. What can I tell you? But in this one, the story is so well written she's just such a great character that it enabled me to rate this a 9. So basically, what I really love about this drama are its two themes about woman empowerment and getting back when you're like on the ground. So yeah, I definitely, because like I think these are themes that are relatable into modern day, and I do think it's a very unique story in that sense because yeah, basically this family hits rock bottom, and part of it isn't just the fact that they're women, because obviously that adds an extra layer to it. But it's the fact that they just like, you've hit the bottom and you literally cannot see happiness in sight. You basically are just forced to push through and like hope that things will work out one day, because realistically it might not. You have no confidence, you've no prior experience of knowing that these things can work out, but you just do it anyways. And so I don't know, especially as someone who has had career struggles, I think that's just such a relatable point of like, you're facing like hundreds of rejections, for like applying to jobs. Okay, this is such a weird tangent, but yeah, I just think it's that whole feeling of like feeling you're at the bottom and just powering through. And that's why I think this is such a powerful story for me. Like the title is Blossoms in Adversity. It's a really fitting title because yeah, she's blossoming in adversity. She's able to show like, oh, this is how intelligent she is and how she's able to put these skills and talents of her that she's not allowed to use if she were just a woman in like her male household. Then she's allowed to use because of the situation that they're in. So yeah, like she does succeed, and it's like, it's so fulfilling. It just feels so great to see her succeed after working so hard. And yeah, she has setbacks, and like it's a 40 episode drama, like it does take time, but I think that the entire journey to where she gets to is just a beautiful process. Yeah, it's really beautiful in that sense. And then obviously the second reason is the woman empowerment. We love a good woman empowerment story. This entire story is about like how women, their society is based off of like women needing men to survive, and for her to go against that and be like, no, we are equal, we can do just as good, I think is also a really great message. I'm a woman too, so I really appreciate that message. And so yeah, onto the flaw of the drama. He is such a side character. Like honestly, it's almost to the point where I would say I don't even need romance. Like he does not help her in any way, and he's just so lackluster as a character in comparison to her. But I guess the main point is like she's a really, really powerful, competent lady. So in a way, it makes sense that he seems less competent, kind of like lackluster in comparison. So I think for that reason, it could be a good contrast. He's a good foil to her powerfulness. Did I even mention what his purpose in this drama was? Yeah, but his purpose in the drama is that he is some security guy, and then he ends up watching her for safety reasons, but he ends up falling in love with her. Yeah, that was the plot line with him. Cute, because I love her and I want her to be happy because their characters develop so well, but just like as a couple and like when they come together, it's kind of like it's like not the worst, but it's not the best. But overall, this drama got a solid 9 because of how well written it is. The pacing is great and the depth, and I like how applicable the themes of the story are. So yeah, that is why it's a solid 3rd place. Despite it really broke all the odds of like what I appreciate in a drama, and yeah, popped off. Okay, in a very strong 2nd place, we have Will Love in Spring, and I rated this the perfect 10 out of 10. I don't know if you can tell, but I am so excited to be talking about this drama. I absolutely love it. Such a gem. But yeah, so basically this plotline follows this girl who has a physical impairment. She has like a fake ligament. She got into an accident and then her leg gets amputated, I guess. You know, she has a fake leg. And basically she and the main male lead meet in high school when she is an angsty teen who is very unhappy and dissatisfied with the world. And he kind of just says he's like a bad boy, beating up people and living like a rogue, I guess is what they like to say a lot. I feel like they find like solace in each other. I think they're both very misunderstood, unhappy kids who just had some difficult things happen in their life, and they just kind of like, they're not even nice to each other, but they definitely find comfort in each other's existence. And yeah, so time passes. She is working hard in the big city, trying to make it, trying to be successful. And he is staying in their hometown. He works at like a funeral place, helping to send bodies away, like the dead bodies away. And like, yeah. So anyways, yeah, so she's just like a saleswoman, and basically the story starts when she runs into him on her way home visiting her family. Yeah, so after this encounter, they encounter each other again, they interact, they obviously both have feelings for each other, and yeah, that's kind of the entire story. They fall in love again, basically. So why I love this drama so much. I actually wrote it down this time because there is a lot I want to say. And I think one thing is this drama was all about the unconventional. So number one, you have a female lead who has a physical impairment. He also works a very unconventional job. So there's that aspect. It also has an unconventional family because her family, this is also one of my favorite parts about this drama, is basically, yeah, so she, gets into the accident, her leg gets amputated. She loses her biological dad in that. And so her parents actually had a good relationship. So it features the loss of their father, of someone like they loved in their life. And is also great is the fact that her mom remarries someone that she loves, and they love the stepfather. Her mom meets this man, they get married, and they have a daughter. So they're youngest in the family, but they're technically half siblings. So it's a very unconventional family situation, right? Because you usually have biological mom, biological dad, the brother and sister. But in this family, the mom has remarried and she's still in love with him. So yes, it's a very interesting family dynamic, and they love each other. Like, this is a really beautiful story of like, you have all these hardships in life and then you really have a family that keeps you together and holds you together. And I mean, obviously the mom can be kind of problematic at times, but the mom is within reason, to be honest. Like I think at some point you can also tell that the mom's being a little annoying and stuff like that. But I mean, in a way, if you think about the circumstances of her life and things like that, she's just a protective mom. They're not necessarily like the most ordinary people, especially her daughter, who has had the leg issues, who had to grow up with the mom throughout like them struggling with a single mother and 2 kids, loss of the husband, stuff like that. And I think one thing that I really, really like about drama sometimes is just having a very, very broken female lead, and someone who is there for her no matter what. I think it's one part of it is also the desire to have something like that in my own life. When you struggle, you just wish someone would be there for you no matter what, someone that loves you, even when you're acting ridiculous. So I think that's the main reason why this drama personally appeals to me so much. I know that is what people think is also a really big con of the drama, is the fact that she's kind of psycho. And I acknowledge that. Like, yeah, she is a little bit psycho, but I think understanding the circumstances of the events that have shaped her completely makes sense. It's a logical progression, and I mean, I think this is a very human story. It's not saying like this is the ideal person you want to be. I don't think it's telling you that at all, and I don't think we're supposed to believe it. Like, she seems very human, and this is how people are, and yeah, this is their stories. And the drama also balances a lot of like how the events of your life can shape you in like almost every way of your life, because I think we cannot forget throughout the entire drama that she has a physical impairment, and I think it really does seep into who she is as a person too. She's got this insecurity that she needs to outperform everyone else because she is thought as lesser because she's got this physical impairment. She's not able to live like, I guess, everyone else. So yeah, you could see how that seeps into her personality. And that's also why she's kind of like a psycho. Like she's all bright, bubbly, flamboyant on the outside because she wants to hide the scars in her heart. She wants to hide her weakness because that's something that she's self-conscious about. And I don't know. It's just such a dynamic range of human emotions. The dialogue is really powerful. And I guess because he works with like dead people, there's a lot about death and what it means to live. And yeah, I think it's there's just so much to say about this drama. I've been filming this video for a very, very long time now. I hope it's actually interesting. I did really like my What's Going On in Cdrama World video, but this one, I don't know if I'm giving my proper reviews and if I sound coherent whatsoever. But overall, I feel like it's time to start moving on because I think I could talk about this drama for quite some time. Not that I know it would be very coherent, but it's a very beautiful drama with very flawed people that you root for because they're trying to be better, they're trying to overcome their problems. So you just want the best for them and for them to figure things out and be happy because we all just want to be happy. So at number 1, we have The Princess Royal, and I also rated this a 10 out of 10. So this plotline is the princess marries some poor scholar dude because she's kind of forced to, and they end up with some misunderstandings, hating each other, ends up killing each other. And basically they are reborn into their 20-year-old selves before they've married. And for one reason, they end up having to marry each other again, just like in the first life. And in this life, they promise that they will just be companions and that they will try to get divorced and live their own lives as soon as they can. The main plotline is she is on a mission to not make her brother evil. So basically in the first life, her brother turns evil cold because of reasons, and she just wants to prevent that from happening. At this time, her brother is only the crown prince, and their father is really biased and kind of hates the crown prince because he's too soft. So she is just helping him out again in this life, and she's just trying her best to prevent him from becoming the cold ruler that he ends up to be, which is what happened in the first life, / going to happen in the future if the things carry out the same. So anyways, this drama has a very, very special place in my heart. This is another example of me reading the original IP and really falling in love. I think the entire foundation for the entire drama is great. It was to the point that I was like, how did the writer have the brain to write this drama? Because it was so beautifully written. I think the foundation of the story of like the old married couple goes back in time and tries to change their lives, but doesn't. And they've definitely got this old married couple vibes the entire drama. And it's definitely filled with a lot of cute, fluffy romance moments. They're also like bickering and bantering, which is one of my favorite couple types. And she's a little bit insane. I mean, pretty similar to Will Love and Spring. I'm not gonna lie, I love an insane girl with her caring boy that kind of tolerates it all. And I'm not saying that their behaviors are always good, but I think they're at least justifiable. Yeah, because for her, I think this is a lot of the flaw for what other people think is just the fact that she is kind of a bitch. And fair enough, she is the princess. Like, why would you expect her to be otherwise? So yeah, and again, this holds a special place in my heart because it was also the very first drama review I ever did. So I definitely have more thoughts in that video. And if I'm being honest, I easily could switch this and Will Love and Spring around. Okay, because since I did read the Princess Royal novel, around episode 8 when I got into it, there was a really, really beautiful dialogue set up, story element. And I ended up reading the novel. And after reading the novel, for some reason, the drama started to stray from the novel as time passed, and it strayed for the worse. I think the original story is so great, so much better. I think this drama missing on some of those moments, but it holds pretty true to what happens in the novel. What's funny is in Are You the One, they strayed so far that I got annoyed with it because it strayed from the novel. But in this one, I feel like the novel was in addition. So like the scenes that I really want to see in the novel that didn't happen on screen, I just kind of imagined it happened and just like kind of filled in the blanks of like from scene to scene is kind of how I saw it. And yeah, I just think The storyline is too great, too dynamic, funny. It's got all the elements of like a drama that makes it enjoyable. This is like my exact type genre of drama. I love it so much. I know it's not like, I really know that it wasn't executed to be a masterpiece, but it really should have been. I think, yeah, further thoughts, I think you should watch my review for it, because at this moment I've been filming for I think over an hour and a half just talking about these dramas. So just in case you don't want to watch this video, I think I'll just speedrun why I liked it so much. So I think I love the synopsis of, you've got this girl that like, this evil, kind of cold-hearted, she's just been through so much that she kind of like puts this wall up. I love that you have that girl, and then she kind of develops across the story, and learning to trust someone, learning to love someone, is kind of like how the plot follows. I think the entire plot line is also great, coherent. The plot twist, absolutely insane too. Like all these little elements of the drama were so well done, so well written. Definitely there are scenes in the books so much better. You just have to imagine it happens. Like the action happens, but the dialogue gets cut a little short, and it's a little different, you know, but whatever. I love her character, and I love the plot line. Actually, I think that's all I really need to say, because you just have to watch it. I feel like there's just too many spoilers to be talking everything one by one. Yeah, I'd really recommend checking out my review if you really want to know my thoughts on this drama, because yeah. And with that wraps up my 2024 C-dramas all ranked. I hope this video was coherent enough for you, because I really feel like I had no idea what I was saying, and so I hope this video was able to bring you joy. I hope it served a good purpose. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. I will actually move on to K-dramas very soon. So if you're also a K-drama watcher, I will be talking about the best of K-dramas. And I will actually also be going over every single drama I watched, which is a lot, because it includes not only K-dramas and C-dramas, it also includes dramas that I've watched in previous years that I decided to watch this year. And it also includes Japanese dramas and Thai dramas, and yeah, just about everything. So if you're interested in that, please stick around, subscribe if you would like. And I also am really into variety shows. I will be talking about dating shows again very, very soon. So yeah, if you're just a Asian content person like me, this is the right channel for you, I promise. So with that, happy holidays. I think it's like, yeah, it's like December, almost Christmas at the time I'm filming that. So thank you so much for being here. You deserve the world. I hope you get the greatest present ever for Christmas. And yeah, that is all for this one. Bye-bye.